to complete the research report on the conformity research program we have completed before this coronavirus situation. So I remind you that we have put already this information on the Google Classroom, but since then, as we're moving to online learning, I have created psychology site. We are going to using that to Zoom, and in order to find information about the assignments, you need to go at the last part where it talks about the assignments. So we have done the ethics, the introduction, the psychology test. Now we're going to write this. And if you click on the assignments, you will be diverted on the page that actually is important for us at the moment. This video has already been uploaded there, but I'm going to make it more detailed. So the task needs to collect data, which we have done in March. And we have done all the processes. I remind those who were not in the data collection process. We have access that information set. We explain to everybody what is the research about and how we're going to participate in that research. And I have requested consent. So that's why we talked about informed consent to maintain the ethics of the research. I'm talking about the right to withdraw, that it's not going to harm you by any way, explaining how you're going to collect the data. Students have been asked to sign. If there are less than 16 parents should sign. You will have a lot to discuss on this when you analyze the research. Then students have been separated into groups randomly. We call it the green and the yellow group. And each group has gone through a presentation of data. We collected certain data. We had a pre-test, the common sense sayings questionnaire, to see how people are agreeing on to what extent, to what degree people agree on with the common sense sayings, like how much they agree with all the people believe. And that's part of conformity. We need to check if they're conforming as characters. When we do this term, the conformity experiment of Asch, you will see that some people by nature or by order in the family are conforming more than the others. And peculiarly, assertive people, authoritarian people are conforming more. In that data collection, we asked a lot of information. We asked the age of the person. We decided to make it in months, find easier means. We separated the people into groups. One of them would be the experimental and the other one would be the control group. I asked the students to fill the either male or female for reasons that you understand later, to allow for more kind of data collection. And we wanted people to declare their family size, if they're only child, if they have one sibling or they have more than one sibling, because theory says that only children are not complying as much. Theoretically, those who have more extended families, they're complying more. So as you see, we can have two groupings, those who have been separated by the researcher, that is me, in group A and group B, or we can have separation by the age, we have separation by the family size or by the gender. which is not always related to experimental manipulation of an IV. It is more pre-existing participants' characteristics. Please remember that. We will need it later. So once we did fill that questionnaire, people who belonged in the B group left, A group stayed in, and we watched a video. I'm going to go through this video quickly. And you don't need to watch all the video. Theoretically, you can watch it by yourself. But what I wanted to say to everybody was that this highlighted part was only in Group A. Group B was not able to see that, and that is the IV. Manipulating the minds of the people by putting them ideas of what other people believe, as we will see in the ACES conformity experiment, plays a significant role in people's decision to go along, to decide and vote what other people are voting, for example. So if this is the case, and because we have done this, we then filled, while we're watching the video, we filled that questionnaire. So again, we had to fill the age in months, and if we were Group A and Group B, and we were voting here what picture we wanted to consider as the most preferred if we are going to be participating in the advertising campaign. And then all of the participants, they had to score the social influence and the campaign scores it. So they have to see what the past students have voted. Remember, the control group wasn't able to see that before. That's the first time they've seen that. And then they have to write here their vote and then tick if they have a common or cross if they have a different, and then they have to calculate their score. So all this data, when they were collected, we debriefed, and we start entering the data on a shared Google Sheet that you can see it here on the Google Classroom. I have them here so we can discuss them later, but at the moment, because we're going to do two parts of this research, I have asked students while we're debriefing to decide on the operational hypothesis. Okay, what means that? I have asked people before reveal the data to state their hypothesis, to tell me what they believe. So I have people now here who feel their hypothesis. I have some who still have not done, and I'm repeating, you need to put your hypothesis before I accept your proposal. Your hypothesis has to be in your proposal. Once this is done, I need to explain to you now how we make a operational hypothesis, because it's very important for us. We discussed that in the class, that psychology is a different genre. It writes things in a different way. However, because it's science, we need to have hypothesis. And the hypothesis, as every hypothesis, has to have that setting. If blah, 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 then blah, blah, blah. So if my hypothesis, and I state my hypothesis, then I expect to find that. However, I'm trying to explain here the way we have to write the hypothesis, and I have color-coded so you can understand and keep the format in here and in here. So we have to say if the IV, and we have to state what's the IV. If subliminal ideas of preferred past student choices. Yes, that's what you say. Are given to the experimental group. So you have to tell me exactly what you're going to do. If I give to the experimental group this, this, and this, the treatment, the IV, then the data will show that the mean score of the experimental group will be higher, lower. This is your hypothesis. Will be, and you will tell me. What's the impact of your manipulation on your DV. So you will tell me, in this case, the DV is the level of compliance and the IV is the picture. So if I repeat that, you will tell me that if I manipulate the experimental group by showing them what past students have voted, then the data I collected will show that the mean score of the experimental group, because of the manipulation, because I've shown them the past people preferences, they will demonstrate higher compliance, that's the DV, compared to the group who have not seen that. I will write it more specifically here, and I will explain more. One of the Google Classroom hypotheses was this: the group exposed to the opinion of others are most likely to act compliantly. Amazing hypothesis. It's exactly what I said before. Nice expression. However, it's not correct because it doesn't follow the if-then. This concept here, it's very significant. We call it operationalized hypothesis, the operation. Yes, how I'm operating, what I'm doing. That's what I have to show. So you need to open it up and put it in the concept: if I do this to that group, then the data will show this and this and that for the experiment group compared to the other group. Specifically, you can put something like this: if, remember, this is my IV, if specific information of the preferred picture by past students, and you tell me, is it the IV, is offered to group A, which was the experimental group, then data will show that the mean score of the experimental group will be higher in value, will be higher value in compliance. So they will say more compliance to the preferred by past students picture, that's the DV, compared to group B, which is the control group. So actually your operational hypothesis is telling you in psychology research the cause, what you have done, and the effect. Because you have shown to the experimental group that preferred picture, that's why they comply and they choose the preferred picture. This is the concept. I want you to remember that this idea of the hypothesis is applicable only in experimental designs, only. If you decide, according to your data, that you will compare, I'm sorry, I don't have the picture ready, you will compare, for example, gender, males or females, or you will compare one child or other child, then you don't manipulate the pre-existing, you don't manipulate the variable. It doesn't matter anymore which PowerPoint they have seen, PowerPoint with the subliminal or the other, because your group is the male or female. Therefore, you're discussing pre-existing characteristics. You're exhausting the difference in compliance between boys and girls, for example. Boys are more compliant, theoretically, compared to the females. Or you can say the first child compared to the second child is more compliant. Therefore, we don't have any more experimental design. Our design now, it's observational, and we are looking for a relationship. In this case, I don't want you to give me hypothesis. I don't need for hypothesis. I need for a question. I need you to ask something. For example, are females who offered PowerPoint on the best picture more likely to score high in compliance to the preferred picture compared to the males? These are becoming your groups, the females and the males. So the question can be, are females complying more than males? But you have to tell me in regards to what? Not complying in everything. So do females comply more compared to the males when they're going to choose a picture if they know who has voted or what other people have voted before? So now we have done this. I want you to, so I don't need that anymore. Let's go and continue in here. Theoretically, now you have written your hypothesis, you need to start your proposal. So when you start your proposal, I want you to use this pinkies part of the scaffold, where I want you to write for me only this. Theoretically, this was due last term. People were not able to understand that. People were not attending. So I will accept that by the end of week 1, because I need to go through the proposal and then reveal the data to you, or have more information about how we're going about this. So this is the scaffold I want you to follow. I want you to outline the issue. These are guiding questions. What's the research about? Why you're interested in researching this topic? And you can write some ideas why people are interested in conforming. You have to write here the hypothesis or the research question I'm expecting you to have made. I want you to tell me what kind of design are you going to use. Are you going to use experimental design or observational design? For example, are you going to do group A and group B? Or you're going to do males or females, or only child or many children? And I want you to tell me what kind of data you are collecting. You have to explain to me the questionnaires. What kind of questionnaires? Are they subjective? Are they objective? Think. What are the questionnaires? People are saying their opinions. I'm reminding you there. People are choosing agree or disagree. Is that subjective or it is objective? And then you have to tell me, according to your hypothesis, how you believe this will be. So the idea is that you need to find a friend. This has to be a group, and then that group actually needs to come together and make that proposal and hypothesis together and submit it to me. And then we will see how we're going to work on this. I'm repeating, this will be due by the end of week 1, no more than 150 words. It doesn't count in the word count for that task. So theoretically, the task is here. I have put a task here. This is the task. So you can find it and see the purpose of this. You need actually to discuss in things. That's what you have to write. I would accept 750 with the proposal. Sorry, 750 without the proposal. So maximum the proposal 250, but actually I would like to, I can accept it with 150 words. This is what I want you to complete, and that is the steps. First the proposal development, and then the report writing. All the tasks will be due by week 4 of term 2. And this is, if you download them all together, what's required. This is what you have to write in each part, yes, of your proposal, and then you will see what you really need to write in your introduction, results, and discussion. So this is the first part of our video. And if we are going up to here, we are stopping it up to part 3. I need you to make that first. So I have made the other video, but I will explain to you later how to analyze the data and everything, because that belongs to the second part, and that will be again group work. I'm not willing to give it out to you now because people will start working on this, and I've seen people thinking that they can, in the past, not now, thinking that they can copy and paste what I'm doing, but the idea is not that. I'm helping, explaining, but you have to make your own data analysis and make your own decision, because that will be the way to get the best possible grade. So this is part 1. We are stopping part 1 up to 3. And then once you do the proposal, I will upload the next, and you will be able to take it further. Thank you for watching this. Next video will come once I see the proposal. Thank you.